S. Chan presents educational video lectures. Difficult concepts made easy. Study anywhere, anytime.
So now what are the different kind of semiconductors? What will happen when we combine the two kind of semiconductor with a different doping? When one semiconductor is doped with p-type valency and one semiconductor is doped with pentavalent valency, then what will happen? That we will understand in the p-n junction diode and the different kind of semiconductors.
If you want to study this topic in detail, refer to the book by S. Chan Publishing. Link is provided in the description box.
So welcome to S. Chan Academy, myself Dr. Narinder Kaur. So let us begin this p-n junction diode and different kind of semiconductors. So now firstly there is a two type of semiconductors. One is the intrinsic semiconductor and second one is the extrinsic semiconductor. Now what is the difference between these two kind of semiconductors? Semiconductors, when it is in the purest form, that means there is nothing is doped, the pure semiconductors, they are known as the intrinsic semiconductor, while extrinsic semiconductors, they are in the impure form. So what does it mean? The word impure means these materials are doped with some external particles which are matching with their crystal structure. So such kind of semiconductors are known as extrinsic semiconductors. Now when the material is doped with another kind of semiconductors, so its conductivity, resistivity, all these parameters get changed. How get changed and why the doping is required? The doping is required in order to enhance the conductivity of the semiconductors. So conductivity is enhanced for the extrinsic semiconductor, and when the conductivity is enhanced, so automatically the resistivity that will be lowered. So in case of intrinsic, that means pure semiconductors without any doping, they are lower in conductivity, while the extrinsic semiconductor, they have higher conductivity than the intrinsic semiconductors. So next is what is the band gap value between the conduction band and the valence band, that means the Fermi level. Fermi level in case of intrinsic semiconductors, that is very low. That means they, what is the meaning of Fermi level? That means if this is the valence band and that is the conduction band and this is a conduction band, then distance between these two levels, that is quite low in case of intrinsic semiconductor. While in case of extrinsic semiconductor, when p-type doping is there, so p-type doping means the material is near in the valence band. So that means this will shifts up, and in case of n-type semiconductor, the material is n-type, that means a large number of electrons are there. So that means the material that is in the conduction band. So automatically this will shifts down. So automatically in this case, this Fermi level that will be get changed in case of intrinsic semiconductor. So the energy gap that is more or the greater than in case of extrinsic semiconductor as comparison to the intrinsic semiconductor. Next is a Fermi level that can be found in the forbidden energy gap. So what is a forbidden energy gap? Forbidden energy gap is where there is no electrons or the no charged particles are lying, or you can clearly say that the difference between the valence band and the conduction band, the band which is lie in between these two, that is known as a forbidden gap. And in the Fermi level, that is basically if we are writing a formula, then the Fermi level it can be written as, for intrinsic semiconductor, that is a conduction band plus valence band divided by 2. So that means this is the energy of conduction band plus energy of valence band divided by 2. That is the formula for the Fermi level in case of intrinsic semiconductor. So it lies midway between the conduction band and the forbidden gap. While in case of extrinsic semiconductor, so depending upon the doping, whether it is a p-type or it is a n-type, so depending upon that, there is the shifting in the position of Fermi level. So Fermi level in case of extrinsic semiconductor, it can moves up or it can moves down, so depending upon the doping. Next is how the conductivity of the material that can be enhanced. So the conductivity of the material that can be enhanced by raising its temperature. So that means when temperature is raised for the intrinsic semiconductor, So when the temperature is increasing, that means charged particles that can be increased. So when the charged particles are enhanced, so automatically the conductivity that can be enhanced. So that will happen in case of intrinsic semiconductor only. While in case of extrinsic semiconductor, the conductivity that can be enhanced by enhancing the doping quantity. That means when the dopant is enhanced, so automatically charge carrier that can be enhanced. And secondly, with the temperature, also we can enhance the conductivity of extrinsic semiconductor. Next examples are the pure silicon and the germanium. These are the examples of intrinsic semiconductor. While in this case, the pure silicon and germanium, they are doped with arsenic, antimony, phosphorus, indium, bismuth and aluminium. So these are the dopant. Some of them are p-type and some of them are n-type. So p-type means there is a vacancy of the electron, that means the holes are present, while n-type means electrons are present in the large amount. So depending upon that, so doping is done, so impurities are present in case of intrinsic semiconductor. So these are the two kind of semiconductor, one is the intrinsic and second one is the extrinsic semiconductor. Now next is the extrinsic semiconductor. They are also of two types. One can be p-type and another can be n-type. Now what is the difference between these two type of semiconductor, p-type and n-type? Now in case of p-type and n-type semiconductor, so n-type as name indicate, n means the number of electrons that will be more, p related to holes, while n word that is related to electrons. So in n-type semiconductors, these electrons are the majority charge carrier and the holes are the minority charge carrier. Majority means the electrons are present in the larger amount while holes are present in the small amount. While in the p-type semiconductor, the holes are the majority carriers while electrons are minority carriers. So this is a major difference. So that means in case of when the semiconductor, pure semiconductor is doped with dopant which has more electron than the pure semiconductor, then it is known as n-type semiconductor, and when it is doped with the material which are having the lesser electron in the valence shell, then such kind of material that is known as p-type of semiconductor. Next is the majority of charge carriers move from low potential to the high potential. That always happens. So in case of n-type semiconductor, as electrons has to move, so we know that electrons move from negative to positive potential. So you can say that the majority charge carriers are electrons, so that's why they move from low potential to the high potential. While in case of p-type semiconductors, the majority charge carriers are holes, and holes are moving from positive to negative to positive terminal. So that's why the holes are moving from high potential to the low potential. Then and in this case, and donor is, what is donor? That is the n-type and which is introduced in the semiconductor. That is donor means it can give the electron, so that's why it is known as donor. While acceptor means in this case it will accept the electron, so that's why it is known as accepted kind of dopant, or the doping amount, the impurity is present in the p-type semiconductor. So in this case pentavalent impurities are added, while in the p-type semiconductor trivalent impurities are added. So now next is that it has donor energy levels that are very close to conduction band. So in case of n-type semiconductor, so energy levels are very close to the conduction band, while in this case there is a acceptor kind of energy levels are present and they are very close to the valence band. Now how this p-type and n-type semiconductors they are get formed, so that I will show you. So now in case of basically in pure silicon, in the valence band there are in the last shell there are the 4 electrons are present. So that means here there are the 4 electrons in the valence shell. Now when there is a pure semiconductor silicon, so it also has 4 electrons. That means with another 4 silicons, all of them has a 4 electrons in the valence shell. So that means when this is a center one silicon, this silicon can form 4 bonds with the neighboring silicon atom. So no free electron is present. So this is a pure form of the silicon. So such kind of semiconductors, that means when silicons they are attached with each other, such kind of semiconductors are known as pure semiconductor. Now next, when the material is doped with pentavalent vacancy. Pentavalent vacancy means we have to remove this silicon and some pentavalent vacancy is introduced in this case. So pentavalent means in the valence shell it must have 5 electrons. So when the pentavalent vacancy, when the pentavalent is there, so these are the 4 electrons. So silicon is here. Let us remove the single silicon atom over here. So if this is removed with the pentavalent vacancy, so in pentavalent, so there are the 5 electrons. 5 electrons are here. So in this case, firstly the 4 bonds are formed. Then again this will form 4 bonds with another silicon. So this kind of electrons that will be extra in this case. So that means now in case of 1 mole, if 1 mole of silicon is present, so 1 mole means there are 6.23 or 023 into 10 raised to the power 23 silicon atoms are present. And among them, if some of them, or you can say that a half mole that is replaced with the pentavalent vacancy, so automatically for the half, or if we can remove the 1000 of them, so if 1000 of silicon atoms they are replaced with pentavalent doping is there, so in this case 1000 electrons that will be extra. So that means the majority charge carrier that will be electrons in this case. So that means electrons they are extra in the material. So such kind of semiconductors they are known as N type of semiconductors. That means electrons are majority carrier in such kind of materials. So next, when the given material, so here when the instead of pentavalent, trivalent impurity is present. So when the trivalent impurity is there, so that means instead of pentavalent, again silicon is there. Here is also silicon. So 4 bonds are get formed. So for example, aluminium, that is a trivalent impurity. So aluminium has only 3 electrons in the valence shell. So that means 3 electrons are present. So here there is no electron. So that means there is a vacancy of electron. So vacancy of electron or the place of electron, that is known as hole. So that means holes are present. So in case of when there is a P type of semiconductor, so the given material, pure material, that is replaced with a trivalent impurity. So trivalent impurity means when 1000 of silicons are replaced with aluminium. So that means 1000 holes will be present. So 1000 holes means these are the majority carriers. So that means in this case what will happen? Holes will move and they will start conducting in the material. So in P type material, holes are the majority carrier. So by doping the trivalent impurity, we can form the P type of semiconductor, and when the pentavalent impurity is there, N type of semiconductor that will be formed. So now let us take a short break. So till now we have understood what is the kind of material, what are the semiconductors, difference between intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductor, and then difference between P type and N type semiconductor. Then after the break, we will understand how the PN junction get formed.
Now quality learning is easily available at your doorstep. S. Chand Academy brings detailed lectures based on AICTE curriculum as per the New Education Policy 2020. So do not forget to subscribe to the S. Chand Academy and access the wide world of knowledge conveniently sitting at your home. Stay connected and keep watching S. Chand Academy. Happy learning!
Welcome to S. Chand Academy. So till now we have understood what is the different kind of semiconductors and what is a P type and N type semiconductor. Now we will understand the different kind of junctions. What will happen when P type and N type semiconductors they are combined with each other. So when they are combined with each other and semiconductors PN junctions are formed. So now what are the PN junction? So P and N, that means here the P is P type semiconductor and N is the N type semiconductor. That means when the given material that is replaced when they are combined with each other. So we know that in n-type semiconductor, there the majority charge carriers are electrons, and p-type majority charge carriers are the holes. Now what will happen when we combine these two materials? So definition, how the p-n junction is get formed. So in this case, the two kind of semiconductors, p-type and n-type, they are get joined with each other, or you can take a one semiconductor and do the doping. Pentavalent doping that can be done in the other one end, and the trivalent impurity that can be done with the second end. So this is a different one kind of material, and this is known as a p-type, in which there the holes are majority carrier, and this is the n-type of material in which majority charge carriers are the electrons. So that means in the semiconductor, the p-n junction that can be created by the method of doping. So what does it mean? That means we will take a pure semiconductor. So that means a pure semiconductor is taken. So if this is a pure semiconductor like silicon or germanium, so that is a pure semiconductor, that is without any doping. So we will divide this into the two halves. So in the one half, we will introduce here the trivalent impurities are there. So that means when the trivalent impurities are there, so p-type semiconductor that is get formed. So that means holes will be the majority charge carrier, and in the other end, we will here do the n-type. That means pentavalent impurities will be introduced. When the pentavalent impurities are introduced, so majority charge carrier that will be electrons. So in this case, majority charge carriers are hole, and when we combine these two, so in then such kind of material and the junction is formed at the center. So this is known as p-n junction or p-n diode. So that is get formed. Or secondly, we can also form this by taking two kind of materials. That means one is taken, if this is a p-type of semiconductor, and second is a n-type of semiconductor, and join these two. On joining these two material at the one end, so the junction is again get formed. So with the same material, by doing the doping at the other ends, different doping, we can form the p-n junction. Or secondly, by joining the two p or n-type, we can form this p-n junction that will be get formed. So now next is the steps, what will happen when they will combine with each other or the doping is done. We know that in the n-type semiconductor, the majority charge carriers are electron, and in the p-type semiconductor, majority charge carriers are the holes. So from n side, the electrons will start moving, and they will diffuse to the p side. So that means electrons will move from n to p, and in case of p-type, we know that majority charge carriers are the hole. So the holes will start diffused from p to n. So that means the majority charge carrier, they will start moving towards the center, where they will get joined with each other. So that means electrons will diffuse from p to n-type, and an ionized donor is left behind on the n side, because electrons are the majority charge carrier and the remaining ionized donor that will be there, and which is immobile, because we know that when the electron is moving, the ion will be created, the positive charge carrier charge that will be created, and we know that the electron that is a smaller in mass, so electrons can move freely, while the donor atom, ionized donor, that will be placed over there. So as the process goes on, now what will happen? So that means so in this case, here the electrons, they are bounded with the pentavalent impurity. For example, P phosphorus is there. So electrons are here with the pentavalent impurity, while in this case holes are with the aluminium. So extra holes are there. Now what will happen here? All there is a holes. So large number of holes are there. Now here the electrons are in the p-type semiconductor. Now electrons will move towards this end. So when the electron will move, so donor, here is a p-type, that is a donor impurity. So it will remains over there, because it will get ionized. So it will place over here, and the aluminium is here. So that means electron will combine with this. So there start diffusing. So electron will combine with this, that means here is the excess of electron and there will be the excess of positive charge. So what will happen? So at some boundary ends, so excess of electrons will move from here, the positive charge will be developed in this side and the negative charge will be developed on the p side. So that means when the electrons move from this part to this part. So positive charge will remains over here and electrons are coming over here. So that means excess electrons will be there. So negative charge will be remain over there. You can say that when holes move from p type to n type, scepter impurity that must have negative charge over it. So that means from the one end the positive charge is developed and on the other end the negative charge that will be developed. So that is known as a depletion region. So that means as the process goes on, the layer of positive charge is developed on the n side and holes will go from p side to the n side. So automatically the negative charge that will be developed on the p side. So that means positive charge is developed on the n side and the negative charge that will be developed on the p side. So this is known as depletion region. So that means why there is a word comes depletion region. Depletion means now here the negative charge is developed over here. That means it will further prevent the electrons to move from n to p type. Firstly, in the starting when they are p and n they are combined with each other, after some time excess electrons they will stop from moving from one end to another end. So they will not move because it will stop the electrons to go from this end to p side. So that means now if positive is there and negative is developed there, so that means here the electric field is developed in the reverse direction. So this is a kind of electric field. Due to development of this electric field, it will further prevent the motion of charge carrier. And then due to that the depletion region formed over here. So this region of positive charge and negative charge on either side of junction, that is termed as the depletion region. And due to development of the charges on the both sides, electric field is there which is from negative to the positive, or you can say that from n type to the p type semiconductor. And due to this electric field, electrons on the p side junction move to the n side of the junction and this motion is termed as a drift. So now why there comes a word drift? Drift means now we know that when the negative charge is developed over here and the positive is there, that means some of the electrons from p side they can start drifting toward positive end, and if the negative is there, some of the holes, or you can say that the donor ionized atoms which are having the positive charge, they will start drifting towards this negative charge. So this kind of motion that is known as a drifting of charge carrier from one end to the another end. So that means the depletion region that will be developed in this case. So that now to this p-n junction we want to apply electricity, or we want to apply the potential drop across this junction. So p type of material that can be connected to the positive end, or n type that can be connected to negative or positive. So depending upon that, the material that the p-n junction diode that can be forward biased and it can be reverse biased. So what is the meaning of forward biasing? So forward biasing means when this p type of material or p type semiconductor that is connected with the positive end or the positive terminal of the battery, and the n type is connected with the negative terminal of the battery, then this is called p-n junction diode in the forward biased. And when there is a reverse direction, reverse means when this p type that is connected with the negative terminal of the battery and the n side that is connected with the positive terminal of the battery, so that is known as a reverse biasing. So that means now when the our given junction that is connected with positive and positive p type and n type is connected with the negative, what will happen to the depletion region? Its thickness that is decreased or increased. So that we will understand in the IV characteristics of p-n junction. So that means the material or the p-n junction that get affected when we connect our semiconductor with the battery, and its terminal also affects its working. So now this is all about what are the kind of semiconductors, how the p-n junction formed, and there is a creation of the electric field at the negative end and the positive end, and due to that field the depletion region get formed over here. So thank you.
If you want to study this topic in detail, refer to the book by S. John Publishing. Link is provided in the description box. If you found our video interesting, please like, share and subscribe. And do not forget to press the bell icon.
All rights reserved. This video has been prepared for educational purposes only. No part of it may be reproduced or copied without the permission of the copyright holder.